Is this really the end for Caitriona Balfe and Sam Heughan, or are fans turning a quiet moment into the kind of scandal Outlander never needed? That is the question spreading through the fandom, and the reason it feels so emotional is simple. For more than a decade, Sam and Caitriona have not just played Jamie and Claire. They have carried one of television's most beloved love stories through battles, separations, reunions, heartbreak, and devotion that felt almost impossible to fake. So when fans sense even a little distance, they do not treat it like a normal change. They read it like a warning sign. A shorter interview, a missing appearance, a quieter social media moment, or a different energy can suddenly feel bigger than it really is. And that is where the danger begins, because silence can look like mystery, mystery can turn into rumor, and rumor can quickly become a scandal before anyone involved has said a single word. The truth is, there is no confirmed proof that Caitriona and Sam's professional bond has been destroyed. There is no public confirmation of a dramatic fallout, no verified scandal that proves everything between them has collapsed. But for fans who have watched them laugh together, tease each other, protect the story, and speak with such respect about the work, the emotional shift feels real. Part of the problem is that Outlander made fans believe in a connection that was bigger than ordinary television chemistry. Jamie and Claire were not just another romantic pairing. They became a symbol of loyalty, passion, sacrifice, and survival. Sam and Caitriona gave those emotions a face, a voice, and a heartbeat. Because of that, some viewers started to connect the actors' real friendship with the fictional love story they portrayed. Not always in a deeply emotional way. That is why this title hits. When people ask, is this the end? They may not only be asking about Caitriona and Sam. They may also be asking if the version of Outlander they fell in love with is disappearing. The interviews, the behind-the-scenes smiles, the playful banter, the red carpet warmth, the shared memories from set, all of it became part of the viewing experience. Fans did not just watch the episodes. They followed the journey around the episodes. But as Outlander moves closer to its final chapter, everything naturally begins to change. Actors become more careful. Public appearances become more limited. Personal boundaries become stronger. The emotional language around the show becomes heavier. What once felt relaxed and open may now feel measured and distant, not because something terrible happened, but because an era is ending. And when an era ends, fans often look for someone or something to blame. That is where the so-called scandal becomes complicated. A real scandal would require facts, names, timelines, and confirmation. What fans have right now is a feeling that the energy has changed, a feeling that Sam and Caitriona are not appearing in the same way they once did, a feeling that the magic is slipping out of public view. Feelings matter, especially in fandom, but feelings are not the same as evidence. Still, it is easy to understand why fans are worried. Sam and Caitriona's connection has always felt rare because it was built on trust. Their scenes required emotional vulnerability, physical closeness, and years of shared storytelling. They had to make viewers believe in a marriage that crossed time, trauma, and history. That kind of work creates a bond, but it also creates pressure. Fans sometimes forget that behind the fantasy are two real people with private lives, professional responsibilities, and the right to step back. The silence, then, may not be a sign of destruction. It may be a sign of transition. Caitriona and Sam may simply be protecting themselves, protecting their families, protecting the ending, or protecting a friendship that does not need to be performed for the internet every week. But because the audience has loved them so intensely for so long, even normal distance can feel like rejection. So is this really the end for Caitriona Balfe and Sam Heughan? From what is publicly known, that answer cannot be honestly confirmed. But what can be said is this. Fans are not only afraid of a scandal, they are afraid of losing the emotional home that Jamie and Claire created. And sometimes, when people are scared of goodbye, they turn silence into signs, signs into theories, and theories into heartbreak. If this rumor feels explosive, it is not because fans have been handed one clear piece of proof. It feels explosive because Sam Heughan and Caitriona Balfe have lived inside the emotional center of Outlander for so long that even a small change can feel like a crack in the whole story. For years, viewers watched them move through interviews, premieres, conventions, and behind-the-scenes moments with the ease of two people who understood exactly what this show meant to its audience. That history is what makes silence so loud. When two actors have spent more than a decade representing Jamie and Claire, fans do not see them as ordinary co-stars. They see them as the public guardians of a love story that helped many viewers through heartbreak, loneliness, marriage, motherhood, grief, and escape. So when the public rhythm changes, the fandom notices. A missing joint interview becomes a question. A quieter tone becomes a theory. A lack of playful exchange becomes evidence in the eyes of people already afraid of losing something special. But this is where fan emotion and celebrity reality begin to collide. Sam and Caitriona are not Jamie and Claire. They are actors, professionals, and private people who have given years of their lives to a demanding series. Their friendship, respect, and working relationship do not have to look the same forever to still be real. Public warmth can change without private conflict. Boundaries can grow without bitterness. Distance can appear without disaster. The problem is that Outlander trained its audience to look deeply at every glance, pause, and unfinished sentence. On screen, Jamie and Claire communicate with silence as much as dialogue. A look across a room can mean love. A hesitation can mean fear. A goodbye can carry years of pain. Fans bring that same emotional reading into real life, and suddenly ordinary publicity choices become loaded with meaning. That is why the rumor spreads so quickly. It sits at the perfect intersection of nostalgia and uncertainty. Fans are already emotional because the final era of Outlander feels closer than ever. They are remembering the beginning, when Sam and Caitriona were newer to global fame, when every interview felt fresh, when the fandom was still discovering how powerful their chemistry could be. Now, after so many seasons, the mood is different. The story is older. The actors are older. The audience is older too. And with that comes a kind of grief. Not dramatic grief, but fandom grief. The sadness of realizing that the version of Sam and Caitriona fans first fell in love with may never appear in exactly the same way again. The long press tours, the constant fan excitement, the early surprise at Jamie and Claire's impact. Those moments belong to a specific chapter. When that chapter closes, some fans mistake natural change for personal collapse. The so-called scandal may therefore say more about the audience than the actors. Reveals how deeply viewers invested in the bond around the show. It also reveals how uncomfortable fans can become when beloved stars stop performing familiarity in the way people expect. Public friendship becomes something fans feel entitled to measure, even when the healthier truth is that real relationships do not exist for constant public reassurance. That does not mean fans are wrong to feel emotional. Their attachment is part of what made Outlander such a phenomenon. Sam and Caitriona helped build a world where love felt fierce, mature, painful, and worth fighting for. When fans react strongly, it comes from a genuine place. They are not simply chasing gossip. Many are protecting a memory. Still, protection can turn into pressure. If every silence is treated like betrayal, then the actors are never allowed to evolve. If every separate appearance becomes suspicious, then professional growth becomes a rumor. If every boundary is framed as evidence of conflict, then fans risk damaging the very respect they claim to defend. So maybe the real story is not that Caitriona Balfe and Sam Heughan are facing an ending. Maybe the real story is that fans are facing one. The public version of their partnership may be changing because Outlander itself is changing. That does not erase the laughter, trust, chemistry, or history that came before. It simply means the fandom must learn to hold the past without turning the present into a scandal. And if this is not the end of their bond, it may still be the end of how fans used to see them before.